I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Welcome to the Rainbow Push Coalition. It's another Saturday. It's a great Saturday. We're celebrating Reverend Jackson's birthday this Saturday. Actually, his birthday is October 8th, but we want you, it's still not too late for you to drive by Push 930 East 50th Street. You can give him a birthday present. I know you're wondering, what does Reverend Jackson want for his birthday? Well, he wants 7,900 memberships, new memberships. What does he want? He wants 790 people to join the Push Consumer Club so that we can make sure that we're buying black, supporting black businesses, pushing black businesses. What does he want? He wants people to become a part of our Push Action Army. He wants people to join Push and push for high quality public education, push for affordable health care. He wants you to be a part of this movement for change. He wants you to vote right now in November. If you can early vote, vote now. But if you can't early vote, then vote by mail. If you can't vote by mail, then vote November 3rd on Election Day. We want you to make sure that you're voting in this election. Well, today we have a lot of ground to cover. We have a lot of information for you. We're going to give you an update on two cases, Breonna Taylor and the case in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The two families have come together. You'll hear from them. You're going to hear from attorney Ben Crump. He'll share you the legal status of both cases from Kenosha and Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky. You're going to hear a number of tributes to our founder, Reverend Jesse Jackson, on his birthday. It's going to be an exciting it's just going to be a wonderful broadcast. I would tell you more, but I want you to just see it for yourself. Also, this week you're going to hear about our upcoming technology conference, our Silicon Valley Tech Summit. It's coming up next week. You don't want to miss it. Oh my goodness, we've done so many things. We're doing so much each and every week. We want you to stay involved. We want you to get connected. We want you to push for change. This broadcast today is dedicated to one of our founding members, Audrey Booker, the wife of St. Clair Booker, who made her transition this week. We're praying for our founding member, Mr. St. Clair Booker, who traveled all over the world with Reverend Jackson for many, many, many years. He is going to miss his wife as we're going to miss Audrey Booker. So we want you to include St. Clair Booker in your prayers this week as we dedicate this broadcast to the life and memory of Audrey Booker. Also, we're mourning the loss of another one of our members' sister, Omar Sharif, who's given so much, does so much, has survived COVID, and now he is dealing with the loss of one of his sisters. And so we want to let Omar Sharif know that we are praying for him and the entire family.
We here at Rainbow Push want you to join us at 930 East 50th Street on October 24th. Why? Because you have made it for the first few weeks of school, and we are very proud of you. All of you parents, all of you students who are at home trying your best, doing a virtual school, as well as the parents who are sending your students to school and doing it through prayer and wanting them to come home safely. So Push is doing our part. We are supplying you with school supplies on October 24th. We have everything from book bags and all the supplies that you need to t-shirts. And who would have thought that now this year we would need all of the protective materials. So we even have that included this year. We have everything from masks for your students to pencil cases, as well as supplies. So do not hesitate to stop by with your family on October 24th from 12 to 2 at 930 East 50th Street and make sure that you have everything that you need. We are pushing for you.
What a joy it is to celebrate my friend and brother, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. What a gift God has given us. As you've been a drum major for justice down through the years, I've watched and admired you over the years as you have been a voice for the voiceless and as you have fought for those who could not fight for themselves. You carried the torch of hope, lighting the path for others to follow. You've encouraged them to keep trusting God, to make their voices heard by their vote. We need your voice today as we've never needed it before. So my sincere prayer for you is that you would take this day to be celebrated for the gift you are to us all. Happy birthday, Reverend Jackson. May God continue to richly bless you and the tremendous work you're doing to make our world a better place.
Greetings, Reverend Jackson. It's Adrienne Trimble here with the National Minority Supplier Development Council. On this day, your special day, I want to take a moment to thank you for all of your efforts to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in corporate America. It's because of your efforts that the playing field has been leveled to ensure economic inclusion and prosperity for all of those who are willing and able to bring their capabilities to the table. And all they're asking for is access, and you have been so gracious in leading the way and granting them that access. Millions of minority business owners have benefited from your leadership, your advocacy, and for that, we are grateful and say thank you. I want to personally thank you for all that you've done because I've worked with you for many years and you've always been there as a leader, as an advocate, and one that I could turn to for help and support as we work together to advance the mission of diversity and inclusion. The accountability measures that you've put in place for corporate America will be long-lasting and has created an opportunity for those without a voice to finally be heard. So on this day, your special day, we want to thank you for all that you've done, and we know that we stand on your shoulders as we continue fighting in the trenches every day. So we celebrate you, we say thank you for your advocacy, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the legacy that you have created. Enjoy your special day, and I wish you many, many more blessings to come.
Jesse, so a banker and an organizer die and they go to heaven and they're in front of the pearly gates. And St. Peter says to the banker, before I let you in, show me your scars. And the banker looks confused. He goes, scars? I have no scars. And St. Peter says, was there nothing on earth worth fighting for? Jesse, when they ask you that question, you'll be able to show them a lot of scars. We've gotten some of them together in the apartheid fights, in the civil rights fights, at the Pittston fight, all the places where you showed up to help workers get a better life. Jesse, happy birthday, brother. I hope you have a great one, and I hope you have many, many, many more. Happy, healthy birthdays. God bless you.
I want to wish you a happy, happy, happy birthday, Reverend Jackson. We're all so grateful that you were born. Happy birthday.
Reverend Jackson, happy 79th birthday. I cannot tell you how much you mean to me, to my family, to the culture. I told you once before that growing up in my house meant having a picture of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. on the mantle of the fireplace. And with that, I've taken with me every single day, keeping hope alive. Thank you for all of the ways that you've made Rainbow Coalition building central to my activism, to my work, and to the world's work. Thank you so much for all you do. We love you. Happy birthday.
In the stormy season of violent campaign rhetoric, we're called to be steady in the face of the whirlwind. There's a tug of war for America's soul. We have a clear choice: take down walls of separation, build bridges of hope and unity. Love must trump ignorance and fear and hatred and violence.
Our vote is our voice. Let's march the polls together, keep them alive. Let nothing break your spirit, never surrender. Vote, 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 and keep hope alive.
Greetings, friends. This is Dr. Joseph Bryant Jr. I'm director of the Push Tech 2020 Silicon Valley Bay Area office under the auspices of Rainbow Push Coalition and under the visionary leadership of the one and only Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. My brothers, my sisters, my friends, colleagues all over the world, it is Push Tech 2020 season, and we are so excited about our upcoming conference. It is only 3 weeks away, and we want all of you to register today. We want you to register today. We want to make sure that you can be connected with this once-in-a-lifetime virtual experience. It's going to be such an exciting undertaking. The 2-day conference is going to bless you, lift you, inspire you, impact you, equip you, and give you a lot of the resources, tools, connection points that we've been blessed and benefited from over these past 5 years, and really over the 20+ years of engagement of Reverend Jackson in Silicon Valley and the 60-year journey of his civil rights march. We thank God for him and his leadership and all that we've been able to do here, partnering with the amazing and phenomenal Mr. Butch Wing. We have been able to see doors open, opportunities provided, access happening. And even though we have a long way to go, we want to celebrate this 5-year journey. And we're thankful. We already have such a loaded 2 days just for you. So many of our colleagues are going to share in. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the inevitable, the incredible, Honorable Willie Brown, a wonderful CNN reporter and impact strategist leader, Angela Rye, from Salesforce, Molly Ford, from HP Enterprise, Brian Tippins, all these amazing diversity and inclusion voices like Denmark West and Rachel Williams and Laura Murphy. The list goes on and on and on. We're going to have so many things that we're going to share with you, so many stories, so many of the success pieces that we don't often hear about, some of the things that we've been able to see in this 5-year journey where we can celebrate what has transpired. So we want you to join us, my friends. Make sure you get registered today for Push Tech 2020. You don't want to miss it, October 22nd and 23rd. And I know what you're saying. Oh, I can just watch it on Facebook Live or something like that. No, you want to register because we're going to be able to extend extra goodies and gifts. We're even going to have swag bags to be able to share with those that register for the conference. You're going to get some extras, not just seeing it online and be able to type some things in a YouTube chat. We're going to make sure every person registered feels connected to the conference and to the coalition. So take the time right now before we even end this moment and register for Push Tech 2020. This year is going to be virtual, it's going to be valuable, it's going to be visible, but it's going to be impactful more than anything under the leadership of Jesse Lewis Jackson and Push Tech 2020 Rainbow Coalition. See you there.
A national cry for criminal justice reform.
We're sick of dying. We're sick of fighting. We're tired of it. We're sick of being tired.
The families of Breonna Taylor and Jacob Blake, united by their pain and passion for change, joined together in Chicago.
I refuse to be second and third class, but we're going to stand up and we're going to stand together.
Standing alongside civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson with the support of elected leaders vowing to get justice for both families.
Case of Louisville, woman shot in her sleep. No charges. Little Jake shot in the back 7 times. Shackled to the bed. I'm going to charge him with kidnapping this year. We're not going to stand for it. We're going to fight for little Jake. We're going to fight for Breonna.
The Taylor and Blake families also demanding more transparency and changes to the grand jury process. And with exactly a month to the election, they say the best way to help them is to vote.
Trump told his kind to stand back and stand down. And my message for our culture, you need to stand up and stand tall. And make your voices be heard, because the time is now.
We must cross the lines that have separated us long enough, come together and join hands and become a mighty fist. We can become this fist that can change those laws that can make those two systems of justice different.
Good morning, Attorney Ben Crump.
Good morning, Reverend Jesse L. Jackson.
I'm so delighted to be with you today. You're our hero.
Well, mentor, we're standing on your shoulders, and on behalf of everybody, not just the Omegas, we thank you for your tireless leadership.
You're in the best of the Johnny Cochran tradition. Christ occurs, you always, and we appreciate you so much, Ben.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Where is the Breonna Taylor case now?
Reverend Jackson, as you know, America, not just Breonna Taylor's family, was outraged at the results of the grand jury proceedings by Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron when they returned this wanton endangerment charge against the white neighbor's apartment for bullets going into that apartment's walls, but not for bullets going into the black neighbor's apartment that lived above Breonna Taylor, nor for bullets going in Breonna Taylor's apartment, nor, and worst of all, Reverend Jackson, there were no charges, no manslaughter, no wanton murder charges, nothing for the bullets that mutilated Breonna Taylor's body.
That's not even a reference to her in the situation.
Not once, Reverend Jackson. For 191 days, we chanted from the mountaintop, say her name. And not once in the indictment did this Republican Attorney General mention Breonna Taylor's name. So we wonder what evidence, if any, was presented on Breonna Taylor's behalf in that grand jury proceeding. And that's why we're demanding the transcripts be released.
After the was killed in Minnesota, we went to Minnesota. We met with the county prosecutor. He said, I can't do anything. Next day, it went to Keith Ellison. Keith indicted 4 police officers. Yes. First time police have been killed, indicted ever for killing a black person in Minnesota. Cameron in Kentucky is the opposite of Keith Ellison.
Yeah, he's Mitch McConnell's protege, the Republican Senate leader. I believe a white grand juror sued Daniel Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General, because he said that he believed it was not appropriate what he thought happened, and he would like to speak publicly, which is something they don't normally allow, because he says that they never got charges recommended against the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor.
Cameron said the shooting was justified. To me, that was the ultimate insult. It was justified.
It was a slap in the face. It was disrespectful to black women. As we think about the history of how black women have been disrespected in society, in the court of law. So this attempt at the intellectual justification of discrimination by this young black Kentucky Attorney General, who is a Republican, is an insult to black women everywhere.
Will there ever be a trial in Louisville about this matter?
Reverend Jackson, we know the journey to justice is long. We keep taking one step at a time. We had a historic civil settlement where they agreed to pay Breonna Taylor's family $12 million, which was precedent setting because normally black women are marginalized when they're killed by police, and normally awarded $1 million or $2 million. So hopefully this sets the precedents. And also they had historic reforms where they are incentivizing police to live in the minority communities they police. They hired 12 social workers to go out on 911 calls when they get domestic violence calls, as well as mental health crisis calls. And they hired an independent inspector general to review all police shootings, all police excessive force that is totally independent of the police. So it can serve as a model for the rest of the nation. And Reverend Jackson, they abolished no-knock warrants. In Breonna's name, they call it Breonna Taylor law.
I tell you, Ben, we're going to Raymond Push to conduct sanctions on Kentucky. After all, NAACP came into being fighting lynching laws. Senator Rand Paul is blocking anti-legislation. You got McConnell, who's on support of the judge who killed affordable health care. And the whites of Appalachia will be the first to fall when the judge comes in the court. You have the case of Breonna Taylor. We think that black ball players at Kentucky and Louisville should go to other schools until this thing, after their daughter or mother comes to the city to play, they be shot in their sleep and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's a non-violent sanctioned rape for Mandela, Reverend Dr. King. You got three. One, you can shoot back, and that didn't work. It's not right. You can burn buildings. That's not right. But non-violent direct action always works better. We think the most non-violent thing to do is economic withdrawal from Kentucky to the laws are straightened out. Let me ask another question. In the case of Jacobs here in Kenosha, Wisconsin, what's the status of that case now, Ben?
Well, right now, Reverend Jackson, that tragedy where young Jacob Blake Jr. is seen on a video trying to get away from the police, and you literally see on the video, he poses no threat. He doesn't pose any violence to them. He's trying to get away from them. He walks around the car in an attempt to get his 3 boys out of a volatile situation. And you literally see the officer grab his t-shirt and shoot him 7 times, point blank range, having deliberate indifference, whether he lives or dies. And so right now, the Attorney General of the state of Milwaukee, who is a Democrat, and the first person of color, as I understand, he's Middle Eastern, he is leading the investigation, and then he turns his results over to the local district attorney to decide if charges are going to be brought. Also, the FBI is doing a parallel investigation. But I would tell you, Reverend Jackson, never have I seen the presence of the 2 justice systems that exist in America, one for Black America and one for white America, than we saw in a couple of days in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Because after the police shot Jacob Blake, a young white man walked down the street and shot 3 protesters, killing 2 of them. And with the assault weapon hanging from his neck, walked down the street past several police officers, past several National Guards, and went to his home uninjured. Nobody killed him. Nobody shot him in the back, but he murdered people. And here Jacob Blake, this black man, didn't shoot nobody, and he got shot in the back. That shows you in vivid contrast the 2 justice systems that exist in America.
They talk about riots. The fact of the matter is, in Kenosha, they say he was trying to kidnap his children or going for a knife. How absurd can that be? In the hospital, 7 bullets and handcuffed to the bed.
Yeah.
How mean can that be?
Outrageous. And I know you know his father, Jacob Blake Sr. I know his grandfather was a pastor there in Chicago. So I thank you, Reverend Jackson, for being a source of inspiration for this family and a source of encouragement for them to continue to fight for justice.
Well, we fought too hard to right folks to give it up now. I know you're the big hurt. Where are we with the Atlanta case? Kids shot in the back, and in the case of the Attorney General moved rather quickly.
Yep, that's Rayshon Brooks, and I know the attorneys working on that case tell me that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, even though the officers have been charged, it may be some time before they actually have a trial. Unlike George Floyd's case in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you remember Reverend Jackson, that is the brother who video galvanized the world because the police officer had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds and literally tortured him to death. And your friend, Keith Ellison, is the Minnesota Attorney General, and he charged all 4 officers. And so that trial is supposed to be on March 8th, 2021.
I want to thank you today for your enlightened leadership, for your integrity. We learned to depend on you. Your national law must handle national cases. These cases must not be subject to local corruption or local fears. You come in, you finance yourself, you finance your cases. All people don't know who to turn to, don't have the resources even to file a case. You come in, you provide services, and you provide the startup money if necessary. You're the Lord's Lord. We appreciate you so much, man.
Hey, God bless you, Reverend Jackson. Keep hope alive and keep leading us.
Today we can vote. We have the power. So we the people. We the people have the power. To vote and change our direction. We will not stand for charges against Blake. While the police did the shooting on the streets. We have an obligation. Fight back. Stand up. Stand down. Stand up. Stand down. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me. Protect me. Never neglect me. I am somebody. Red and yellow. Brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody is somebody. The only justification, looking down on somebody to pick them up. So I am somebody. Through it all, we will not surrender. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope. Vote. 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 Louder. Vote. Vote.
Good morning. We are in the midst of a major drive to get more members, more people engaged and involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in public policy and you want to help change the policies that impact those incarcerated, change the policies that impact students attending colleges and universities. If you want to be a policymaker, then you need to join Rainbow Push and join by paying your $35 right now. Some of you watch us every week. You listen to us on the radio. You're viewing us in social media. We need you to become a member. It's only $35 a year. If you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, we've awarded more than $10 million to scholars year to date. What do you have to do to give and support Push? It's really very simple. You can go to rainbowpush.org if you're on a computer and press donate. Give any amount. Every dollar is important. You want to talk to somebody, call us at 773-256-2775. You can give right now, any denomination that you choose. You can text the word PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444. Text on your cell phone. Most of you have a cell phone. Just text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444, and you can give any amount that you feel comfortable giving. Or call us 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and just press donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Hey family, this is Pastor Reginald Sharp Jr. from Fellowship Chicago, just pausing in the day to simply send a warm, happy birthday to a man I've admired all of my life, the one and only Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. We want to pause and celebrate this legend, this leader, and this lifter. He is a legend. You can't walk anywhere, Reverend Jackson, without everybody stopping to want to get a picture with you or to shake your hand. And it's not because you're famous, it's because you're compassionate. It's because you have spent your whole life fighting for the voiceless, fighting for the marginalized in our society. You are a legend. But you're not just a legend, you're a leader. You started Push right here in the basement of Fellowship back in the 60s. You came here to find your spiritual home, and from your relationship that you birthed with the late Reverend Dr. Clay Evans, you are affectionately still known as the co-pastor of Fellowship Chicago. You are a leader. You are a worldwide leader. You're a global leader. You're a citywide leader. Everywhere you go, every place your foot has stepped, you've been a leader, and people are still calling on you, even in your 79th year of life, to lead us through the tumultuous times that our country is faced with right now. You're a legend, you're a leader, but you're a lifter. And people who spend their whole lives being lifters will never be forgotten. We will never forget how you've lifted little boys and little girls to be reminded that they have hope. Thank you for instilling in me a sense of self-pride, a sense of self-confidence that God sent me here to Chicago. It was you that took time to take me to the Bulls game. It was you that called me to your office just to pour into me. It's been you that have been with me every step of the way. I know you're low-key mad because I ain't called you in a minute, but I'm going to call you. Keep being the legend. Keep being the leader. Keep being the lifter. I'm going to give you a call soon. We love you here at Fellowship. Enjoy your birthday to the one and only Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. We love you. Peace, man.
Hi, Reverend. This is Robin. I just wanted to wish you the happiest of birthdays, well-deserved, and thank you again for the many years that you've sacrificed, that you've given, that you've made a difference, that you've improved the quality of life of so many people because of your activism, your advocacy. We just appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I am very proud to represent you in Congress. Have a wonderful birthday.
Brother Jesse Jackson, I bring you birthday greetings on behalf of the 200,000 members of the American Postal Workers Union. We greatly appreciate your staunch support for postal workers, our union, and the public postal service over many decades, and your defense against those who wish to privatize it for the private financial gain of a few. In our deeply troubling times of obscene income inequality and economic crisis, coupled with rising white supremacy and fascism, your significant and continuing contribution as a leader for civil rights and labor rights, and the vital connection between the two, helps point the way to a more just society with good jobs for all, strong unions, healthcare is a human right, and the dignity, worth, and safety of every human being. Happy birthday.
Be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain. I am Dr. Glenda Glover, International President and CEO of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and President of Tennessee State University. Reverend Jackson, and to all who are sharing this wonderful celebration, you have been steadfast. You are unmovable, unwavering, unbending, always serving, always working, always abounding. Your labor, your hard work, your liberating work, your leadership is not in vain. We thank God for Reverend Jesse Jackson. We thank him for your labor for human rights, your labor for education, your labor for HBCUs. The world owes you. The world loves you. May God bless you as you continue your vivacity and complete the purpose for which you have been called. We thank you.
My friend Jesse Lewis Jackson, thank you so much for your contribution, not only to our friendship, but your leadership in terms of making the voice of Black people heard throughout America and throughout the world. You have made Black America a voice that people have to reason and reckon with. You have been a shining light, and you have been a sterling example of what we all possess. Many times we couldn't be where you were, but you always made sure that your voice reflected and spoke for all of us. Thank you so much. Enjoy your birthday. Enjoy your family. You are the best, my brother. Enjoy.
History is a peculiar thing. As we're learning it, we're also writing it. We are shaped by it, and we help shape the next chapter by how we live our lives. Alexis de Tocqueville once said that history is a gallery of pictures in which there are few originals and many copies. October 8, 1941 was a particular date in history. On that day, Germany invaded the Soviet Union. Tensions were rising on the world stage. And just 2 months later, the United States would be pulled into World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor. History also serves as a marker. Some are born at just the right time, to be positioned by circumstance and opportunity to leave an indelible mark on the world. On that Wednesday in 1941, 79 years ago, a boy named Jesse was born. Born in the midst of turbulent global times, shaped by tumultuous domestic times, and set apart to change the world by his fierce commitment to moral clarity and courage. The path he has blazed and the marks he has left and continues to leave remind us that sometimes all you need is someone to remind you that the struggle is too important to give up now. Whether by walking with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or heading up Operation Breadbasket, or leading a movement of political courage that included everybody, the Rainbow Coalition, and the presidential campaigns of 1984 and 1988, or the numerous times that he didn't ask permission to speak with moral clarity, to resolve tremendous conflicts and win the release of those who found themselves captive on foreign soil. You, Reverend Jesse Jackson, have been and continue to be our original champion. I believe that God knows what he is doing. And I believe that we have confirmation of this truth as we remember that God has given us a gift to the world and to all of us in the personage of the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. I thank God for your life, your strength, and your persistence. Thank you for being our model, our mentor, and our champion. Thank you for being an original. Happy 79th birthday, Reverend Jackson. And let us continue to do as you have shown us and keep hope alive. God bless you.
Take one. Who is Jesse Jackson?
Well, you know, it's been a long journey. And I thank God for allowing me to be a long distance runner. I am a servant whose work is not complete.
Have you ever witnessed the resolve of a real champion?
I am somebody.
Have you ever walked with Reverend Jesse Jackson on the road to battle? Have you ever seen him persist when others resist?
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it.
Have you ever seen him take the road less traveled?
We are humane people. We fight for justice and fairness.
Always a helping hand on the road to freedom. Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and the Rainbow Push Coalition, still the long-distance runner, and still no more impossible dreams.
Can I be admitted? No, sir, you cannot be admitted. Why? I am not going to serve you. Because of my race? I'm not going to serve you.
I didn't decide to become branded as a civil rights sit-inner. I couldn't use the public library, so I sat in and I was arrested. Took sacrifice and some risk involved in that.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. appoints Reverend Jackson in 1966 to head Chicago's Operation Breadbasket, Southern Christian Leadership Council's self-help economic uplift program. In August of 1967, Dr. King appoints Reverend Jackson National Director of Operation Breadbasket, which negotiates hundreds of jobs and millions of dollars for African American neighborhoods across the country.
I was a little boy who grew up in a community where black children could not go to the public schools. And lawyers came into our community and made them open up the public schools, and I thought that was going to be the end of the struggle. And what I learned quickly is that it was just the beginning of the struggle. A few years later, Dr. King was assassinated, and it was challenging to navigate all the ways you could be made to feel not as good as other people, not as smart as other people. And it was in the middle of that struggle that I began listening to you. And you gave these speeches, and you would ask people to repeat after you, and then you would say, I am somebody. And I remember watching the TV and saying over and over again, I am somebody.
It's hard to imagine how we could have come as far as we have without the creative power, the keen intellect, the loving heart, and the relentless passion of Jesse Louis Jackson. And God isn't done with him yet.
He was born in Greenville, South Carolina, October the 8th, 1941. There's a hero if you look into your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There is an answer if you look into your soul. All of the sorrow that you feel will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And you cast your fear aside, 'cause you know you can survive. And when you feel all hope is gone, look inside you and be strong. And you'll finally know the truth, that a hero lies in you. Oh, yes, it does. Then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And you cast your fears aside, 'cause you know you can survive. When you feel all hope is gone, yeah, look inside you and be strong. And you'll finally know the truth, that a hero lies in you. There will be tomorrow. It's time you'll find a way. And a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And you cast your fears aside, 'cause you know you can survive. And when you feel all hope is gone, look inside your chest and be strong. And you finally know the truth, that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in you. He is our hero.
Happy birthday, Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, Sr. Capturing your impact on our city and our lives in a few short sentences isn't easy, but let me try it. All of us here in Chicago, Black folks, people of color, and people from all walks of life owe you a debt of gratitude for your decades of tireless organizing, advocacy, and moral leadership. You've been a constant voice, pricking America's consciousness to confront the issues of justice and equality, whether in the form of racism or the broader issues of economic justice, and simultaneously forcing us to recognize how all of these issues are connected and why they're so important for us to make ourselves, our community, and our country better. You took up the mantle of the great apostle of peace and our shared hero, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and carried it through the tumult and struggle of the years since, but always, always towards the progress that bends toward justice. Your work has brought you to our streets, the halls of Congress, the Oval Office, and around the world many times over. But through it all, you have always remained rooted here in Chicago and to the family and community we all love and call home. So on behalf of our entire city, let me wish you a very deep and heartfelt congratulations from all of us on your 79th birthday. We love you and we wish you many happy returns to come. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Reverend Jackson. Over your lifetime, you've been such an advocate for the Black community in Chicago and all across our great nation. Your decades of advocacy work for Rainbow Push and Push Excel has helped to create better futures for countless young people, and your dedication to them is an inspiration to so many of us. It's an honor to know you and to work with you, and I look forward to seeing your impact for many more years to come. Your leadership is such an uplifting thing to see, especially in these very difficult times. Happy birthday. The best of wishes to you and your loved ones. Be well.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jesse. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy birthday, Jesse.
Hello, this is Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and I want to say a special and honorable happy birthday to the Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson. Sir, you have been a beacon and an example of leadership, of courage, of wisdom, and of activism that leads to results for people of all races, and particularly those of us in the Black community. As a public servant, I look to stand on your shoulders and upon your legacy to build a future for our people and for all people that shows them that they are somebody, that they have and deserve a chance to pursue happiness in spite of hatred, and that it is our collective responsibility to break down all barriers that stand in their way. Thank you and happy birthday.
My name's Simon Woolley, Lord Woolley. I'm the Director of Operation Blackbird. I want to celebrate a friend, a mentor, a hero of mine, Reverend Jesse Jackson. We want to celebrate your 79th birthday. Happy birthday, Rev. You know, for many years we've collaborated together in the USA, in the UK, and beyond, in mainland Europe and in Africa too. And everywhere you've gone, you've inspired millions of people to stand up and be counted, to have a voice, to have belief, keeping hope alive. I thank you for that. We thank you. And we want to see you back in the UK sometime soon. We still have work to do. But today, we celebrate your birthday. Happy birthday, Rev, and see you soon.
Reverend Jackson, happy birthday. I understand it's your 50th birthday. Again, you've been a leader, a mentor, a hero of mine, a hero of millions across this country. You've blazed a trail that now Kamala Harris is poised to cross. You have done so much for so many, and I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday and say thank you for being such a force of good for the United States of America. Happy birthday.
Greg Mathis here, your favorite student. I want to thank you, Rev, for all the love you've shown me and so many others. You know, one of the most memorable conversations I ever had was when you shared with me one of the most profound statements I've heard. You told me that, Greg, I've known you since before you were born. And I knew what that meant. I knew it wasn't figuratively stated, but it was a statement of deep love. And I share that deep love for you, and I'll speak literally. My love for you began before I knew you. Indeed, when I did meet you as a street kid in Detroit behind bars, you inspired me to change my life. You inspired me to lead others to change their lives. Our people in particular, you had me to fight to empower them and to fight against injustice. And I thank you for that. It is for that I thank God for your birthday now and your birthday on day one when Miss Helen brought you into this world. Because it was then that we were able to project that a child was born that would change the world. Were it not for your birth, we would not have had a Donna Brazile or a Ron Brown, chairman of the Democratic Party. We would not have had a Mignon Moore, director of White House politics, director of the Democratic Party. All of them came from Rainbow Push. And we thank God for that, because in a real way, most of us would not be in office. Indeed, none of us perhaps would be sitting in our political seats or as a retired judge were it not for the work that you did, both in civil rights and some 50 years ago with the Voting Rights Act. Less than 50 years later, after millions of folks you registered and inspired to vote, along came Barack Obama, our first African-American president that you paved the way for. And so we all thank you. We thank you and we love you for the work that you've done. Once again, happy birthday. I love you. Stay strong and keep the faith.
When I was 12 years old, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, a lot of the Southern movement appealed to my heart, but not my head, because I was in a town that was a little more vibrant and a little more Afrocentric in Brooklyn, New York. But my mother brought me to Reverend William Jones and Reverend Jesse Jackson. And Reverend Jackson wasn't like the other preachers. Big afro, rarely wore a necktie at that time, medallion around his neck. And I said, now this is the kind of preacher and leader that I can relate to. And from then on, I became a student. I became one that earned being a mentee and follower of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. In many ways, I just personify what is much broader than me and Reverend Jackson's relationship. He nationalized and cemented the King movement all over this country and brought it to his generation. And I'm 13 years younger, my generation, and those that are behind me, that would have never related to the content and to the substance. But he brought us the style we could relate to, but then the substance that we needed. And because of that, black business changed, black politics changed, activism changed. Jesse Jackson revolutionized America and the world, from taking hostages to world peace initiatives, to dealing with hunger, to dealing with policing in this country. If you name it, he was there and he taught us. And he's a hard taskmaster. He will get you mad, he will get you angry, because he will take no shorts. Every excuse you have, he already heard it. He gets to the end of the excuse before you get finished. He gets to the end of you telling a little untruth before you can get the lie finished. He has been unsparing with me, and that's why I'm unsparing in my love for my mentor and my big brother and my father figure. As one that didn't have one, if my father had been home, he couldn't have been harder on me than Reverend Jackson was and is. But I might not have been something if I didn't have the hard hand in my personal life and the intellect in my public growth of Jesse Louis Jackson. Thank you, Reverend Jackson, for being Reverend Jackson. 79 years and still going strong. We love you, we need you, and we bless you.
Hello. It is my special privilege to join the tireless leaders and activists of the Rainbow Push Coalition to wish the extraordinary Reverend Jesse Jackson a happy 79th birthday. Reverend Jackson, your lifetime of leadership and service on behalf of all humanity is an inspiration to peace-loving people and to those whose lives you have touched and made better. As a powerful voice for equality, justice, and opportunity in America and around the world, your faith, vision, and brilliance have helped expand the promise of democracy and deliver hope and progress to millions of vulnerable people and communities. On behalf of the United States Congress and your many friends on the Hill, please accept our best wishes for a year ahead filled with continued health and happiness. Happy birthday, Jesse.
They used to say we were just 3/5 of a man, and we had to fight to be fully recognized. Back then, being counted meant marches, pickets, jail cells, and worse. One way you can show we count in less than 10 minutes is to take the 2020 census. Be a warrior for your community. Be counted and make certain adequate funds and political representation are allocated to your state and your neighborhood. Just select one of these easy options. By phone, call 844-330-2020, online at mycensus2020.gov, or simply mail in your survey. Never forget, you are somebody. Don't delay. Take the census today.
I am somebody.
Dr. Kim, I went to jail with a group of 7 students, July 17, 1960, almost 60 years ago. We never stopped moving. I lost a few jail cells and death. We never stopped moving. I thought it was time to write some of it down so the older generation can learn how we did and what we did and how global it was. Whether speaking about Mandela in South Africa, India, Qatar, about Gandhi in India, here at home. This book tells the story, so please get it and give it to your friends. Read it, let's argue about it, let's discuss it.
Yep, so the book is Keeping Hope Alive, Sermons and Speeches of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. It's quite a good collection. You know, we've got sermons and speeches from around the globe because you have made such a global impact, not just here in the U.S., but around the world.
Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com.
Get involved with the movement.
Somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Join the movement.
If you're not a member, become a member.
I am somebody. Fighting the most important battles for freedom and justice for all.
You made us change. Oh, trying to bring closer.
Join Rainbow Push.
But you're not pushing me away.
Join the movement. Join